Hey y'all, welcome to Cows Are My Therapy. I'm Lacey. Welcome to my porch. And I just wanted to address, most people are wanting to do canning videos. I will do canning videos, but whenever I was sitting down to write things out, what I'm working on, the first thing that I'm doing before I do too much canning right now is making sure that I have things planned for what's going in the fall garden. I'm going to go over those things today. There's 15 things total, and 6 that I'm going to do. The others I'm not going to worry about this year. And then there's one bonus item that I'm going to talk about. And then but before I get into that, I want to talk about Prime Day. Today is Amazon Prime Day. It starts. And some things that I've seen on there. I haven't looked everything up that I'm going to tell you about, so you can kind of do your own homework on those, on what they are. But Walmart is also having markdowns as well. So let's talk about Prime first, on what's going on the deals and what you might be able to find on Amazon or other websites, Walmart, things like that. And then I'm going to jump into the fall garden planning. So first of all, you have dehydrators. If you've ever dehydrated anything, you can actually dehydrate in your oven if your oven goes to a low enough temperature setting. Mine does not. And I don't know if my old one did at home, at the old house. I've just always used a dehydrator. I actually stole my mom's dehydrator for a while because I was kind of learning how to do those things. I had done a little bit, but and read about it, but I wasn't exactly sure what to do. I was extremely limited at my old house of what I could grow, what I could plant, what I could harvest. So what's the saying, making your waiting room into a classroom. So if you're planning something, you're planning that you want to, learn how to do sourdough. You want to learn how to do gardening. You want to learn how to raise your own animals and raise those for your own meat and your own consumption. Or if you're wanting to learn how to start your own flowers or cultivate from a rose bush and start a new rose bush. Those are things that, there's things that you can do on a small scale that you start learning those skills and you start building those things, and you can make that waiting time while you're waiting for the next big thing. You're waiting for the Lord to give you more to work with, that you can do a little bit and continue to grow. And like I tell my kids, like in baking bread, if you burn it, I'm like, you gotta burn it to learn it, so you may end up making like a doorstop and you're like, well, I'm not gonna do that again, or try to figure out how you messed up your bread, or kind of work with the recipe. And sometimes you end up doing that, you work off somebody else's recipe and you come up with your own recipes, and then you kind of tweak things for yourself. But I do want to go over, so food, number one was food dehydrators. So you can look at those. I know I saw a ton of food dehydrators on Prime today. I have 2 dehydrators. One is small and it's kind of square, maybe 10 inches long and maybe about 10 inches tall. And it has 10 different trays in it. It doesn't have any settings. You just set it in there, and it has a constant temperature and a constant time, and you just kind of have to watch it. And that was kind of on the lower end of price. Number 2 is you can get the big stainless steel ones that you can remove the trays. You can put in silicone mats. You can put in grates, things like that. So look at those. Go look at the food dehydrators. There's lots of different ones. There's round that stack. There's square that you can take the shelves out, that you can actually put in like jars and end up cultivating and making your own yogurt. So I strongly advise to go look at dehydrators. Number 2 is pressure canners. Not a pressure cooker, but a pressure canner. And there's manual ones that I've used for a long time. My mom has used them forever. And now they've come out with the digital pressure canners. So digital pressure canners are kind of set it and forget it, but not completely forget it. It will beep whenever you need to do something. If you need to set the regulator on top, or if you need to tell it to do the next thing, or if you need to watch the pressure piece at the top and make sure that it's up all the way, it will do those things and tell you at what stage it's at. but you do not have to sit and watch the pressure gauge. I know there's been years that I set the pressure gauge. You've got the stove turned to a certain heat, and you're having to watch it, make sure it stays at 11 pounds of pressure, and make sure that it doesn't move. And so the kids are doing work right next to me, and I can't leave it. But with these digital pressure canners, it will warm the jars for you. You can hot pack, you can cold pack, you can even do water bath canning in them. So go look those up. I know that Presto has one that is a 12 quart, and the 12 quart is, let me look, I wrote it down. The 12 quart was originally $370 and now $278. So you can go look at that. They have a bigger one that's a 17 quart, but I don't remember the price on it. So you can go look it up. I just got the 12 quart because to me, it didn't feel like it did a whole lot more jars for that much bigger of a space capacity to take up in the kitchen and in my storage area. So I just got the 12. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Next was like canning kits. You can go look at the canning kits. You need lifters, you need the debubblers, you need a measurement. Like the debubbler normally has like I should have brought it out here with me. It has like a measurement mark on there to mark your head space. That's something that you're going to see in every canning book that you do. It will tell you if you have to do a 1/2 inch of head space or a whole inch of head space, and you need that, and it's on the end of that bubbler. Like I said, the lifter, you have another piece that is the lid lifter. It's got a magnet in the end, so whenever you're lifting your lids out of canning books now tell you not to do this, but they say you don't have to. It's something that my mama always did, and that's how she taught me how to do it, and I keep doing it because it is an extra safety measure for me. But I will simmer my lids in just a little bit of hot water on the stove. I don't boil them, but I just kind of put them on there and put them in real warm hot water, and let those, it softens the rubber on those. So to me, I think you get a better seal for maybe a longer amount of time. And so whenever you lift that out of the pan, you're going to need a lid lifter, and you can't reach in there with your hands, and you can't do it with a fork. You don't want to damage your rubber on there. So you're going to have to use it's basically a tool that's about, I don't know, 8-9 inches long, and it's got a little tiny magnet at the bottom, and you pull that out and you can set it on each jar as you go. The other thing is go look for jars, go look for lids, and go look for rings. See if those are marked down. I know 4 Jars, FOR, 4 Jars. That's a company that they usually have stuff marked down around the 4th of July, and they were on Amazon marked down today. And I'm going to order some of those where you can get them for and they're a very reputable company. I've gotten those quite a bit. Next is going to be water bath canning. Water bath canning is, to me, that's where, if you're just getting into canning, that's where you start. My husband loves homemade fresh strawberry jam. So every year I'll make him a dozen or so jars. That man can put jelly on a sandwich and half the jar's gone. So we go through a lot of strawberry jam and jelly in our house. That's usually all I make. That's pretty much what they stick to. I don't eat a lot of jelly, so I just make what they eat, and we do strawberry. I thought about trying a strawberry jalapeno for him here pretty soon, but because we've got a lot of jalapenos coming in out of the garden, so I might try to do that. But water bath canning. So water bath canning is basically a large stock pot. Even before I had the quote unquote right thing to do your water bath canning with, I used like the Pioneer Woman stock pot that they have at Walmart. I used that for a long time because you don't have to necessarily have anything that, as long as it's a large deep stock pot that you can fully submerge your jars, with a couple of inches of water over top of them, and they can boil, and you've got plenty of space in there, that you can just use a stock pot. But the thing with stock pot, the real water bath canners, they have like a rack that you can pull the jars up and set it on the sides, and it will bring all the jars out of the thing at once. But I didn't use that for a long time. I just used regular stock pot. But you can go look on there and see what kind of, there'll be stock pots. They'll have a rack. They'll have a lid. They should have like the lid lifters and the debubblers and the jar lifters, all of that with it, with the water bath canning. I did see those marked down on Prime today too. So go look for those things, see what's out there if you're looking for a good deal before you get started canning. The other thing you can do is go on there and look for the sourdough kits. Sourdough kits, there's, you know, some tools that I kind of feel like are over glorified with sourdough, but sometimes you can get a really good deal on the sourdough kits. You'll have like the starter jar that'll have like a band around. I don't do that. I just use a quart-sized jar. I just slap a rubber band on it, and so I can see where my sourdough is and how, if it's doubled in size. There's like the Banneton baskets, and then the Dutch ovens that you can cook them in. I just use an old Dutch oven that was given to me. That was actually my grandma's, so I used it because I used an original Dutch oven and it wasn't big enough. So like my sourdough would get, and it would hit the lid. So I started using a bigger one. I think it's like a 9, it might be, I can't remember if it's a 7-quart or 9. Anyway, it's a whole lot bigger Dutch oven. That was my grandma's, and I use it because the sourdough, whenever it rises, it doesn't hit the lid. It actually gives it more room to expand. So go look for sourdough things. If you're needing a sourdough starter, hit me up, message me, and I will give you part of my sourdough starter. It's been really, I've had it. My friend Jill gave me sourdough starter, 2022, 2021, maybe. I can't remember. But she gave me some in a jar, brought it home. I kept it alive in the camper, and it's been alive ever since. I don't know how long she had it going before then, but I love that starter. It does really well. So if you need a starter, hit me up and I will get that to you. But mine's not dehydrated or anything. It's just going to be regular starter. Obviously that's local if you need that, because I can't get it to you. You're not local. But anyway, books. So I do have some books to go over. So like, we'll start with like the books that I wanted to show you that you may try to go find that may be on the list of things. And the first one, and I'm not endorsed by anybody, but it was the, I know it's backwards. It's it might be the Prairie Homestead Cookbook. This is Jill Winger. She has a great YouTube channel too. She has a lot of great recipes in here. I love this book. Go find that on Prime, see if it's on there. And then gardening books. We have, you have different, let me see if I can find Melissa. So Melissa K. Norris, she also has a great YouTube channel, the Family Garden Planner, the Family Garden Plan. And these might be on there. These are great books. These are going to walk you through how many plants you need based on how many family members you have. If it's just 2 people, if it's 4 people, if it's 8 people, she'll walk you through that. So go look that one up. Another one is this Year-Round Edible Gardening. This is a great one. And it kind of walks you through the spring garden, the fall garden, winter gardens, how to put gardens to bed. Seed saving. This one's called Seed to Seed. This will teach you how to seed save. So whenever you grow your garlic, grow your tomatoes, it will teach you how to save your own seed and how to dry your own seed so you're not constantly having to buy seed. And this is a great reference. This is one of those that teaches less dependence on a very sensitive food system. So now we'll go into so like general homesteading and farming. This is the Back to Basics book. This is an old book, but I think any book on like general homesteading and farming, that's going to teach you general bread making, maybe how to make some tools, how to build something. I think this one has stuff in here like how to milk a cow and how to raise and butcher your own beef. So farm tools, this is a good one. My son loves this book. It teaches you how to, and shows you, actually has the plans in there on how to make your own tools. And it will, like a hand cart. It'll show you like how to make a hand cart, things like that. Lots of good projects that you can do with your kids. And then barns and sheds. This is another good one that you could do. This one it says Creative Homeowner is the author. John Wagner. This one is Josh Josh Volk. I'm not sure, I can't remember where we got those. Here's another one, Butchering. This one is going to be something that just kind of teaches you the animal husbandry and raising your own meat. And then obviously you need one that's just the Country Living Encyclopedia. This one is ginormous, but I go to this one a lot, and it will, you know, trees, vines, herbs, gardening, food preservation, animals, all of that stuff. Everything to do with, there's some bushcraft things in here, raising your own poultry, goats, cows, everything like that. This one is a good one. It's kind of a little bit of everything, even like homesteading or natural dentistry, taking care of your teeth and, you know, medicines, things like that. So I just wanted to go over that. And then a homeschool book is this, my number one recommendation is this Teaching from Rest. I tried to get into this one. This is by Sarah Mackenzie. I try to get into this one. It really just revives the homeschool mom that's teaching. And it just kind of reminds you why you're doing it, and you're not getting caught up in putting a whole lot of pressure and stress on yourself and your kids. They feed off of that. So that one's a good book. And then last but not least is the Ball Home Preservation book. The only thing I can say about this is don't buy the paper bound that's on the side. They make a spiral bound. If you can, get that one. It's just easier to lay open and flip through as because it's laying open on your counter while you're doing things, and it has a tendency to close, and your hands are sticky with jelly or, you know, things like that. So I would get the spiral bound, but it's the Ball Home Preserving book. So I think Kerr has one too, Kerr. I think they have one too. But anyway, I just wanted to go over that and remind you what you need to look for. Okay, last thing to cover is what you need to be planting for your fall garden. The other thing I was going to mention was when you're going to look on your Prime stuff, go look for the things that you use and wear out a lot. See what's on there. One thing that we use and wear out a lot is gloves. These are rose gloves. These are nice for reaching in whenever we're doing any weeding and we're not exactly sure what's in there. But just gloves in general. And then snippers. So these things. Pruners, we use those a ton. You can go look for rakes, shovels, you know, all those things. But go look for like your tools, whether you're sourdough, gardening, you know, whatever you're doing. So now to get into what you need to plant for your fall garden. Number one is potatoes. Number one's potatoes. You need to make sure that you're growing a potato that you like. Get your seed potatoes. I've grown potatoes with potatoes from the grocery store. You can get seed potatoes from most any, probably like Lowe's, Home Depot. You'll just have to look around, see what you can find. If you have anything growing in your, if you have a potato bin and you got potatoes that look like this, you can totally just plant these. And what I like to do, these were gifted to me. What a lovely gift from our lovely friend that brought them to us at a fireworks stand. I've got to get these in the ground in the next day or two. But potatoes, just today I just dug these potatoes up from our garden, and I think they're ready. I really do. I think they're ready. I think we'll be digging up potatoes here pretty soon, within the next day or so, maybe even tonight. We'll see how hot it is. But yeah, we did Yukon Golds, and we did, you can kind of see how big they are. They're pretty good size for a Yukon Gold. That's about the normal size that they get. And then we did some red skin potatoes, the red potatoes, and I think we did some russets too. But they didn't take that long. We got them, we usually try to plant them the middle of March, around St. Patrick's Day, and I think we got them in at like the end of March. And so 3 months later, or 3 months in a week or so, they're done. So these will be ready in fall. If you plant seed potatoes now, they will be ready October, mid-October, where you'll be digging up potatoes. So get your potatoes in. You can look up on how to plant them. You want to plant them deep. You have to hill your potatoes. I don't do any fertilizer on them or anything like that. They're usually pretty good about not having weeds. So potatoes. So that is one that I'm doing is potatoes. Number 2 that I'm actually not doing, but I kind of already did them. I put in the decorative corn, like the Indian corn. You can put that in now, so it'll be ready for, like, if you're going to use them for fall decorations, you can do that now. Number 3 is cabbage, but if you do cabbage, you have to protect them from the heat. If you're getting cabbage starts from somebody, if you find them at a store somewhere, you're going to want to protect the cabbage, your cabbage plants from the heat. They don't do well in a lot of heat. And so just research how to do some of these things. Then number 4 is cucumbers. I am going to do cucumbers. Let me see. So the cucumbers that I'm doing, I think they came from True Leaf Market. Yep, and they're Market More cucumbers. They get about 8 or 9 inches long. They actually do, and they're a 63-day. This is my seed packet. I already opened it, and I planted some back in the spring. This is my last packet, so I'm leaving it to, like, I've got to, like, make myself a note to reorder seed. Because I'm not very good at harvesting. We eat the cucumbers so fast, and to harvest seeds, you have to leave them on the vine until they completely turn yellow and leave them on there the entire time, and we did not do that this year. So, but True Leaf Market is where I get these. This is a Market More cucumber. They need somewhere to trellis. Next is okra. You can get your okra in. They love the heat. They do really well in the heat. Then there's pumpkins. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 6 is pumpkins. We do a couple of different kinds of pumpkins. We do like the mini pumpkins too. Let me show you what these look like. Let's see, kind of like that. They're I'm trying to, like, hold it where you can see it. But these are my son's favorite little ones to plant. They're a 90-day harvest. So the little mini pumpkins, and then we have the big jack-o'-lantern pumpkins that we do. We planted these last year. This is just open from last year. This is from a company called Botanical Interests. Great company to get seeds from. I do like them. And I was going to look and see if anybody had seeds on sale before I got in here, and I didn't. Next one is summer squash. We love summer squash. Just the straight neck summer squash. These are great. You will find that if you plant your squash, that squash bugs will find your plants. So I find that sometimes you can take a couple of inches of aluminum foil whenever they come up, maybe 2 or 3 inches, and just do a strip. And whenever that squash plant comes up, you're going to wrap the base of that squash plant with aluminum foil. And that normally keeps the squash vine borer from going down in there. But I did not get that done early enough this year, and they got them pretty quick. So I'm excited to put these in and get a better fall harvest, because squash bugs are not near as bad in the fall. So I'm going to do that. And then, but I do want to say something. I found these burpee summer squash, but this is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a blend. And I bought this, and I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. And then I remembered, then I won't remember what I planted where. Like, it's kind of like you're playing like garden lottery. You put it in and you're like, I don't know if that's going to be a green zucchini or a yellow squash. I don't know. So I just want to remind you, if you buy these, you will not know what's coming up. You can't really tell in there what from what. So you may end up with the green zucchini, or you may end up with the yellow squash. Next is going to be carrots. Carrots is great to do in the fall. Whenever it starts getting cold, they don't mind the cold. I've seen carrots even over winter. Whenever you go back out to your garden, there's still carrots in the ground that's been perfectly preserved that are giant. Next would be cauliflower. Again, this is like cabbage. If you start off with plants, which is highly suggested, you need to protect them from the heat somehow. And maybe they need a shade cloth, or if you're going to put a cover on them, something along those lines. You could do cabbage. Peas. So the peas that I'm doing this year are frost tolerant snow peas. And I get mine, I grabbed the Sugar Snap pea bag, but you can plant these all the way up. I like to write on it. You can plant these all the way up until mid-August. But these are, again, from Botanical Interest. This is a pretty good size bag. You can kind of see how big that is. There's a lot of seeds in here. So you're going to put these in late summer. That's what we're looking at right now. You're going to get them in late summer. These are frost tolerant, so they will do well going into the fall and the winter, and you'll have peas to snack on for a while. Next would be beets. Beets are great. I'm not doing beets. I did a few beets at the beginning of spring, and they're already ready. So I'm not going to do beets again for fall. Now, these are my favorites. This is from, again, the True Leaf Market, I think. Yep, these are from True Leaf Market. But these are green beans. Bush Contender green beans. These are my favorite. These really produce a ton, and they do not mind being grown in Arkansas. And you will be up to your eyeballs in green beans. So we've already done our first planting of green beans. I'm getting ready to put in my second planting of green beans. These are going to do really well. And I love, like I said, the contenders. You're going to find providers. You're going to find, I'm watching a hawk go off into the field and find something to eat, and she's taking off. So she's excited about that. Anyway, green beans. So you can eat them fresh. I love canned green beans are my favorite. I can eat them hot. I can eat them cold. I love fresh. My son thinks that canned green beans, he's like, that's not a green bean. He loves the fresh green beans. And if I send him out to pick green beans, he will eat them right out of the garden. So green beans is next. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I keep losing count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Number 13 is radishes. Radishes do really well in the spring. They do really well again in the fall. And let's see. And then spinach. But again, radishes, spinach, and then the bonus item, they do a whole lot better if you plant them in August instead of July. So radishes, spinach, and then your bonus item is going to be lettuce and kale. Lettuce and kale, there's different ways that you can do it. Kale is going to love the cold weather. I watched my mom's kale plants go well into December last year, where she was harvesting off of those, and they did really well. I was super surprised they would be out there with snow on them, and that kale did amazing. Lettuce, there is like a tip for lettuce whenever you're doing your lettuce. You can, those Rubbermaid totes that are clear, and they usually have like a white lid, or the Sterilite totes. You can use those too. If you just and you can be growing lettuce all through the winter if you do this. You can it's basically creating your own mini greenhouse. What you're going to do is take like a clear or frosted, not solid. You don't want anything solid. You want something that lets light in. Those big totes. I can't remember if they're like 18-gallon, something like that. Anyway, they're usually like, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet by 18 inches or something like that. What you're going to do is you're going to lay that on the lid, lay the lid down, and then you're going to take just a bag of garden soil. If it's, what kind of garden soil you use from like Lowe's or Walmart or Home Depot or whatever, and whatever will fit on the lid. You're going to lay down your lid. You're going to lay down a bag of potting soil. You're going to cut out the top of that potting soil bag and just take the plastic off. You're going to leave the sides on there, and everything like that on that potting soil bag, and you can sow your lettuce seeds in that dirt. And then you're going to take the clear bottom, which is now the top because you flipped it over, and set it down on top of that lid, and you're going to set it in a sunny spot. Now the bad thing is you are going to have to water the soil because it's not going to get exposed to the environment. It's not going to be exposed to rain or anything like that. You do need to water it, but you will have lettuce growing all winter if you do that. And you can succession sow it as it keeps going. Lettuce loves the cool weather. And you can just leave it sitting outside on your deck in a sunny spot. You can set it in your yard. It's not going to be bothered because it's going to have the lid on it, and you can harvest and just keep harvesting from it. That is my pro tip with lettuce in the winter, is getting that tote. Like take your tote. You get the lid, you're going to flip it over, put the lid on the bottom, put the dirt in there with leave the sides on it, just cut the top plastic piece out, sow your lettuce seed in there. You're going to have to water it every now and then, put the lid back on it, and then just leave it on there, and you will have lettuce. You can grow lettuce all winter with that tip. I saw that tip from a lady online, and I need to look it up. The video that she shared on that, and maybe I can share that, but great. It was a great tip. So that's what I do. The other thing that I can tell you about, last thing that I can tell you about, is the Clyde's Garden Planner. We love this thing. This is like a great guide, get you started. Now it is not going to be a complete guide to everything, but this will get you started. This is the Clyde's Garden Planner. What you do is you've got like a red line here, and you're going to move that over to where your, this is the spring side. So this is the spring side. If you flip it over, there's the fall side where you can see the fall. And so you're going to set, like for fall, I'm going to set our average last frost date, which you can look up on the Farmer's Almanac online, but you say, okay, my average last frost date is October 17th. I'm going to move it to about where that is, and it will tell you, it will line it up, and it will tell you what you're planting, how to plant it, when to start the seed, and when's the last time to plant it outside, when your harvest date is. Same thing, so that's for the fall side, same for the spring. These are extremely helpful to have, and they're pretty inexpensive for what they are. But anyway, I wanted to give you guys like the list of what you can get in the ground now. What likes to be grown in the fall, how to overwinter your lettuce, and we are in peak. We're going, and we're not in peak, but we are going into peak harvest season. So the kitchen is going to be full. Green beans, tomatoes, okra. I'm going to have lots of potatoes to dig up. I mean, these guys did good. I mean, for coming from, these are great. These did wonderful. Make sure and plant your potatoes deep. Make sure you hill them, and you can maybe look that. But hilling them is you're digging around them to pile more dirt on your potatoes, and it basically just makes it, you create a bigger potato. So if you have any questions, you're feel free to message me or comment, and I'll try to get back with any answers that I can come up with, or if anybody else can answer it for you. But just enjoy your garden. Enjoy your garden, because once you go into fall and winter and it starts getting super cold, you're not really outside anymore. So enjoy it. Grow what you love to eat, and preserve it however you guys eat it. If you plant strawberries, you have a strawberry bed, and you make lots of jam, or if you love green beans like we do, we love pickled okra, we love green beans. Like I'm not doing a whole lot of cucumbers this year, because last year I was covered up with cucumbers and I canned a ton of pickles. So I'm not doing a whole lot of cucumbers this year. I'm doing a few, and that's basically for fresh eating. But make sure to keep following, because I'm going to do more videos on canning, and then I'm going to do a sourdough video. Maybe I'll do something about dehydrating. Make sure that you're doing your, just keep your waiting room your classroom. If you're waiting on a bigger garden, you know, cultivate what you can now and learn how to preserve what you can, what you're able to do. And just keep learning. You know, that's what I try to tell my kids in homeschool. Once you learn how to love learning, then you never stop learning, and you just kind of keep looking things up. And that's why I wanted to show you the books, because, you know, I have those books to show me things. I also have those books to remind me how to do something, or to show my kids how to do something. But I don't want to always have to get online to look something up on how to do it. And it's kind of nice to have your own like little mini library in your house. So just keep plugging away, stay close to the Lord, and enjoy your family, enjoy what's going on. Turn off the news. The Lord Jesus is the news. He is the news. So no matter what's going on, He's got it. So just grow your food, pray for rain, work with your hands, and stay busy, and enjoy what He's given you. So until next time.